Alright, so now for question number 4 in my oral exam, we're going to talk about cardiac output and what exercise has to do in effect to it. So first we're going to talk about the blood flow through the heart and through the body. Alright, so it's going to go into the inferior and superior vena cava, into the right atrium. It's then going to go into the right ventricle and out of the pulmonary artery. From there it's going to travel to the lungs, where it's going to become oxygenated. It's going to go back to the heart through the pulmonary veins into the left atrium, into the left ventricle, and then out of the aorta into the rest of the body. Once it has oxygenated the body through the blood, it's going to come back to the heart. Now, arteries are going to carry blood away from the heart. Veins are going to carry blood towards the heart. So, the biggest part of cardiac output is going to be this equation. You're going to have Q, which is cardiac output, is going to equal heart rate times your stroke volume. Now, there are factors that affect each of these. Each of these are going to impact the amount of cardiac output. So if you increase your heart rate, you're going to increase cardiac output, increase your stroke volume, increase cardiac output, lower heart rate, lower stroke volume, both is going to have an impact on the cardiac output. Now, there are factors that affect both the heart rate and the stroke volume. First, the heart rate is going to be affected by the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. All right, so in the sympathetic nervous system, you're going to have the accelerator nerve, which is going to speed up the contraction of the heart, and you're going to have epinephrine and norepinephrine, which are going to do the same thing. The parasympathetic nervous system has the vagal nerve, which is going to slow down the heart rate. Now, this is where this comes into play. So, in the heart, you have two nodes that are going to affect the contraction of the heart. Now, the SA node is located at the top of the right atrium. Okay? It's going to cause a depolarization across the atriums. All right? Now, the AB node is located right here in the middle. The SA node is going to send the impulse to the AB node, where it then will send the impulse down and up around the ventricles. So, to affect the heart rate, the accelerator nerve can attach to the SA node, speed up the depolarization, which is going to speed up the heart rate, speed up the contraction. The vagal nerve slows down the SA node to slow down the contractions, slow down the heart rate, slow down the depolarization. Okay, so for stroke volume, there are 3 different factors that have an effect on stroke volume. First, you're going to have preload, which has Frank-Starling law to apply. So basically, the bigger the stretch, the bigger the squeeze. So the more the heart can stretch and fill with blood, the more it can pump out and send to the body. So this is going to increase the myosin-actin cross bridges, which increases the contraction, which increases the amount of blood forced out of the heart. You also have contractility. This is going to be the contractile strength of the heart. That's going to affect the stroke volume. So how hard the heart can contract, that's contractility. The harder it can contract, the more blood it can push out, the bigger stroke volume, and all of that. Then you have afterload. This is going to be your aortic blood pressure. It's basically going to be the back pressure after your contraction. So after it contracts, how much pressure is still left in the heart, and is going to be inversely related to stroke volume. So increase in afterload, decrease in stroke volume, decrease in afterload, increase in stroke volume. Because at the end of the day, however much blood you didn't push out is going to be a lower stroke volume and all of that. All right, so during exercise, the need for O2 is going to increase. So the need for oxygen throughout the body is going to increase. Now, oxygen gets through the body by blood, by how the blood travels through the body. All of that, heart rate, stroke volume, all that is going to increase how blood travels through the body. So the need for O2 majorly increases. All right, so that's going to increase the cardiac output to redistribute the blood flow. So let's say while you're working out, you need O2 in like your quads, all of that. Cardiac output is going to increase, and you're going to redistribute the blood flow by things like vasoconstriction, so the sympathetic nervous system can control vasoconstriction to distribute blood back to the heart. Now, vasodilation is going to open up near the muscle that you need the oxygen to. So that's how you're going to, so you increase the cardiac output, you're going to redistribute the blood flow, vasodilation is going to open up near the muscles where you need it, and the blood is going to travel there because it's going to travel from high pressure to low pressure. So you're going to need more blood there. Dilation of the veins is going to open up for more blood to travel. Muscles then get it. So an increase in cardiac output. So cardiac output is going to increase during exercise due to the changes in the heart rate and the stroke volume, because also, or mainly, you're going to need faster depolarization of the heart, which is why the accessory nerve is going to attach. You're going to have a higher heart rate. That's going to give you a higher cardiac output. You're also going to have a higher stroke volume due to the contractile strength and the preload, which is going to mean you're going to need more blood throughout the body, so it's going to pump out more blood to the muscles that need it. So you're going to get a higher heart rate, higher stroke volume, higher cardiac output. Now, when you go from rest to exercise, you're going to get a rapid change in the heart rate, a rapid change in the stroke volume, and a rapid change in the cardiac output. Now, it's rapidly happening to make sure your body can adapt to the changes of rest to exercise, which is why rapidly will accelerate. It will rapidly cause stronger contractions, stronger stroke volume, a higher heart rate due to the more blood being pumped out, higher depolarization of the heart, which is going to increase your cardiac output. Now, eventually it's going to lead to a plateau. So let's say this is going to be diagram for rest exercise. Now, it's going to majorly spike. Let's say cardiac output, heart rate, stroke volume are all going to major spike. Eventually, it will reach a plateau where your body has adapted to the changes and it will even out. So that's going to happen. Now, rest exercise, because of all the muscle contraction and the need for oxygen in the blood, that is why all of these are going to rapidly increase. So heart rate and cardiac output are going to increase in proportion to the oxygen uptake and the increase in blood flow. So the amount of work rate you have is going to increase your heart rate, increase cardiac output due to the proportion of the oxygen uptake and the increase in blood flow to the muscles being used. So work rate can affect your cardiac output, it can affect your heart rate, it can affect your stroke volume, all because the oxygen uptake is going to increase and the blood flow is going to increase because of the muscles needing that oxygen, needing that blood, needing to buffer those pH systems, all of that. That is how exercise is going to affect your cardiac output.